What's up, everybody? So my name is Patrick Sugup. I'm with Sugup Real Estate Services in Fort Collins, Colorado. I appreciate you guys joining tonight and watching. And this is what I do every 2 weeks. This is a biweekly analysis of the Fort Collins, Colorado market that looks at existing build single-family residential properties that are between 0.1 and 3 acres that have sold within the last 2 weeks. And why I've been doing this, I started this in January of 2018. So almost been doing it for 3 years, coming up on 3 years, is for personal reasons. Something that I've found is that when I've found value in looking at numbers or certain statistics, it's also been beneficial to share it with others. So selfishly, a lot of what I do is for personal reasons that I then share on to and give out to others. And that's exactly what this was. I wanted to look at what were individual homeowners, not builders, negotiating with each other, and how were their properties acting on the market. How many new properties are coming on the market, what type of price reductions we're looking at, how many homes are having price reductions, and then inventory, of course. So inventory and days on market are two of the biggest numbers that I track and look at. This was an analysis that I started and then kind of built a kind of one pager to make it easy and understandable for others to understand what the market's doing. So jumping into the biweekly analysis, we are going to start with the one pager. So one of the things that is important to track is how many new houses are coming onto the market. One of the things that we saw during the shutdown and COVID was very few houses were coming onto the market. So our inventory, which is already constricted, started to have more pressure. So this was fortunately a number that I was already tracking. And now we're seeing actually not a spike by any means, but definitely an increase of homes to the market specifically for this time of the market. In Fort Collins, and I'll show you this as once we get to inventory and supply, is a cyclical market. We are high listings in the spring and summer, decrease in the fall and winter, and it just goes like that every year. You can pretty much just take it to the bank. But from there, I like to look at what the average and median list price. Ultimately, the reason I want to do that is what are people feel that they can get for their homes. And at that point, we come down here to how many homes had a price reduction. Generally, every 2 weeks, about 30% of the active homes on the market, anywhere between 30 and 40% of the active homes on the market are seeing a price reduction, generally in the 10,000 price in the price range, which equates to about 3%, 2.5% to 3% of the list price. So that for me is what says it's a substantial decrease that person wants to move. Anything less than that, those people are really more or less just kind of still fishing. So people that do a 2.5% to 3% reduction in their price, that tells me that they're actively willing to sell. And then again, jumping into homes sold, this is actually substantially higher than this time of the year. I feel like it's because one of the things that has happened is because of March and April and even half of May shutdown, more or less, the market got pushed. Whereas our kind of increase into the spring and summer seasons, which is generally March, April, and May, got pushed back 2 months. So this could be possibly still that summer selling season that's just kind of lagging a month, because 110 homes is quite a bit higher. Actually, it's double than what it was last year. So again, doesn't do very, very well for our inventory numbers, which, we're jumping down here to 103 active single family detached homes on the market. Literally, I mean, we're seeing 110 homes sell in 2 weeks, and there's 103 single family homes on the market that are for sale. So essentially, we're at a half a month's inventory, and as I've discussed in previous videos, that discusses a healthy buyers and sellers market of 6 months. We're 1/12 of what a healthy market is. So it's an extremely strong seller's market. But what's keeping buyers extremely interested, and specifically in Fort Collins, is one, we were just listed as one of the best places to live, which we are consistently listed as the best place to live. Two, interest rates, 2.875% with a 2.9 APR. So it's extremely affordable even with these numbers, which is one of the things that I wanted to jump into today, is this median sales price. A month ago, our median sales price jumped to above 500,000 for the first time in my entire time doing this. First time and the entire time that I've ever done this analysis. So now it dropping to $450,000. From 2 weeks ago, it actually jumped from $500,000 to $530,000. So it's jumped way back to $451,000. But I want to show you the next screen, which is a graph that I've been tracking. Sharing is paused. Let's see here. Okay. Let's just go like this. The next screen, which is my average, or the median list price versus the median sales price. What we're going to see here is that over the last 2 weeks, we really were starting to spike. It was actually a little bit concerning, to be honest with you, because with the inventory contraction and interest rates, it was possible that kept going, and then it dropped off a cliff back to a more understandable $450,000. We came into 2020 roughly between $400,000 to $425,000 as a median sales price, and right now we're seeing roughly between $450,000 to $470,000 as a median sales price. So this being more of a gradual incline rather than this hockey stick was really nice to see. So it wasn't anything that was going to really drive individuals out of the price market. Working with quite a few buyers right now. There are still houses that as soon as they go onto the market, there are multiple offers, and asking for all offers by X date at X time. There are going over list priced on, so long as they're being priced appropriately. So the next graph I want to show you guys is the supply and demand graph, which is comparing what is really putting a constraint on our market. October 31st, 2018, 225 homes. October 23rd, 2019, 261 homes. October 28th, just today, it's actually 103. Actually, I typo right there. So it's 103 homes on the market. So we're 52% less than 2018 and 59% less than last year. That, coupled with an extremely low interest rate, is what's putting high pressure on the prices, which, like I said, went from 500 a month ago to 530 2 weeks ago. Fortunately, we're back down to 450, but I don't necessarily see it decreasing below that $450,000 price point. Come on. There we go. Alrighty, so kind of looking at an overall picture, obviously Fort Collins is an extremely strong market. There's pretty much no stopping it at this point. But that being said, there's some X factors that we really need to pay attention to, specifically the election that's coming up next week, these COVID cases that are spiking, and restrictions specifically in Colorado. And I guess California's Thanksgivings and Christmases are going to be essentially non-existent. Stimulus package, does that get passed? Does something ever get passed if there's a new transition to a new president, or the current president and the House changes over? There's so many different changing dynamics about that stimulus that who knows what happens. So I wouldn't bet on any stimulus. I don't know what that's going to look like. There are also things that are coming down the pipeline. As of December 31st, the PPP funding expires. Applications need to be turned in to get forgiveness, or it turns into a grant, or sorry, it turns into a loan. Talk to your accountant. then at that point, also, the eviction moratorium expires December 31st. My gut tells me that it's going to be extended at least through the end of winter. Who knows? For us landlords, it has been difficult. I understand where some of these things are in place and the reasons for them, but it's also quite, difficult. It's quite difficult to operate your business not able to evict if there's a financial burden for pretty much any reason at this point in Colorado. And that needs to go away. But the opportunity that you have as a landlord and property manager is to extremely, very, very diligently vet your tenants, and hopefully that they have a paying job that's still consistent. So election, COVID, stimulus, PPP expiring, eviction moratorium expiring at the end of December. All those unknowns, they're not necessarily very, they don't inspire me very much. But that being said, Fort Collins and real estate has been an extremely strong industry and sector of the market throughout this entire thing. I hope it continues. Zach, one of your questions was, our interest rate playing a part in a lot of this? Absolutely. Like we spoke about earlier, 2.875%. I remember buying a house in 2013 and got a 3.25% loan, and I was ecstatic. I thought I was king of the world. Never going to touch that loan. It's actually not low enough for me to touch it at this point, but I'm considering. Never thought I would ever consider even touching that loan. So historic low interest rates, from what I've been told from a few different lenders, that may increase a little bit. We might see 3%, but still historic lows. And at 3%, it still is very affordable to buy, but with increasing prices, it does start to play a difference. I posted a video, or I think I will be posting a video of what 1% does to the purchasing power of an individual. So be on the lookout for that, or watch it if I have posted. I also don't remember. So that's really all that I've got going on. That's really all I've got going on with the biweekly analysis. Inventory still extremely low. New houses onto the market actually is quite high, which is really nice. Activity of sold homes is staying strong, if not stronger than our last 2 years. Median prices dropped back down to mid 400s. Median list price has been averaging about $475,000 since July. So I suspect that number to stay consistent. 30% of homes will have a price reduction. And then from list to sales price is about a 99% threshold, meaning that $400,000 house is going to sell for right around $396,000. So all that being said, Fort Collins market is very strong. Appreciate you guys watching and joining with me tonight. And if you have any questions, definitely feel free to reach out to me. And again, this is the first webinar. Maybe there'll be more, maybe not, who knows, but I enjoy putting these on. So thanks for watching and coming. If you guys have any questions, or does anybody have any questions? Let's see here. So I think we got that one done, Zach. And no other questions at this point. Again, this is Patrick Sukup with Sukup Real Estate Services in Fort Collins, Colorado. I'm a real estate agent. I'm an investor. I manage my own property and a few others. So if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. And thanks for coming tonight, guys. Take care.